And we are live. Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Business Basics series. In this series of classes, we learn the basic business skills you need to be successful. In today's class, it's all about selling yourself. In this class, this will be a discussion class and a little bit of reading. What we're going to do is based on an article that I'm going to give you in this class, you're going to learn all about how to brand and sell yourself at work. You'll learn from different experts in the article how to improve your job search using online research, online sources, volunteering, and good old-fashioned cold calling. If that vocabulary isn't clear to you, don't worry. You're going to find out what it means in just a moment, okay? All of that and more coming up. First, let me just do a quick introduction and we will get started. So, let me get my name on the board. While I'm doing that, I'll do my introduction. So I'm John Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you from Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. And there's my name. Oops. No, you can't see it. Uh-oh, there we go. There you go. Now I'm official. I'm an American teacher from New York, coming at you from Lisbon, Portugal. What else did I want to say? Oh, yeah. By the way, if you click in the Verbling chat window, you can follow that link to go to my profile page, where you can click the green follow button. That way you can see all my upcoming group classes. You can also schedule a private tutoring class with me where I'll work with you using a personalized learning plan to get you to your goals as soon as possible. Just do me a favor and send me a message if you're interested, and I'll find time for you in my schedule, or I'll try to at least. I've turned off my extra hours because I have a lot of students, so I'll schedule the classes for you, okay? So that's a bit about me. Let's get started with the class. I'm going to open the material for you in just a second, and I'll share it. And while I'm waiting to get that open, let's say a warm welcome to Lena. Welcome back, Lena. How are you?
Hi, John Eric. I'm fine. How are you? How was your weekend?
You're way too cheerful, Lena. I can't handle that much cheer or this early in the morning. It's a little bit early for me. My weekend was very good. How was yours, Lena?
It was okay, thank you.
It was okay. Excellent. Well, here we are. And let's see, who else do we have here? We have Mr. Fabio. Hello, Fabio. How are you?
Hi, John. How are you?
Very good. Where are you from, Fabio?
I'm from São Paulo, Brazil. Nice to meet you.
From São Paulo. Geez, what time is it there? Is it 9, 8, 7? What time is it? 7 o'clock. 4 hours difference from here. So
Exactly.
8 to 9 and 10 to 11. Yeah, 4 hours. Okay. Excellent. Nice to have you. And Isabella as well. Hello, Isabella. How are you?
Hello.
And where are you from, Isabella?
I'm from Brazil, São Paulo.
São Paulo as well. Hey, have you met Fabio? He's from São Paulo.
No.
No? Oh, okay. I thought maybe the two of you knew each other. Hey, look at this. Look at this for a minute. This. Oh, what's going on? That's not the right presentation. Uh-oh. Give me a second. That's not the right one. Hold on. It would be very helpful if I gave you the right material, right? Hang on a second. I'll do it in just a second. For some reason, that's the link from last week's class, not the week from this week's class. But I'll fix that right now. Don't worry. Give me a second while I open the drive. So, I'm going to get you started with a little bit of brainstorming. I'm going to ask you a question that I want you to think about first. Give me just a second here while I open my material. Oh, I know what I need to do. If you hang on a second, I need to wait for my material to load, and it's a little bit slow when I have the Hangout window open. Let me ask you a question. Have any of you had to look for a job? Have any of you had to go through the whole job-seeking process? If so, tell me a little bit about your experience.
Well, I'm 15, so
So that's a no, right?
yeah.
But you will be, so you're going to find out all about it in just a minute. What
Hopefully.
about you, Lena? You're a professional, right? I can't remember what you do, but what do you do again? You told me.
I'm a student, but actually I have worked in the past, yes, and I had to go through this process, and it takes a lot of time to find something. You need to search online, to go to employment fairs, then you need to prepare your CV, to write a covering letter. Then, if you are lucky, you will be invited to interview, and then you need you need to make a lot of preparation. You need just to be able to tell about yourself, to know everything what is written in your CV. Then you need to be prepared to tricky questions. Probably it's a good idea to prepare in advance. And then you also need to search the latest news about this company. And then you just also need to be prepared not only to not only to answer the question, but also to ask the question. And you need to sell yourself. You just need to show your positive sides, and just not to mention your negative sides. It's just like it's a marketing, and we are a product.
Absolutely. Wow. Sounds like you're an expert, Lena. Let me just ask also, Fabio, have you had to go through that process yourself? Are you working?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 28, so I had several experiences with interviews, but only with my mother tongue. So I don't know if I would freeze applying for an interview in English, you know.
That's a really good point. How do you think you would prepare differently if you had to do it in English, Fabio?
Well, firstly, I must understand more about their culture, if they're more individualistic, if they if you have to act differently in front of them, considering that maybe I would be in another country with different people, and I mean they would be expecting something different that I'm used to, you know.
Right. That's good. So Lena was talking more about a moment about the corporate culture, and by the way, that's a good vocabulary word. Corporate culture, and you, Fabio, are talking about just the culture itself. In other words, Lena was saying you got to do some research on the company and see what kind of culture the company has. But Fabio, you're talking about the culture itself from people. Exactly. Okay, good. And who else was here? Isabella. Isabella. So, what kind of job do you think you'll be getting in the future?
A surgeon.
You're going to be a surgeon. Fantastic. Really?
Yes.
Why? Are you sure?
Yes.
How do you know that that's what
Completely
you're going to
sure.
be? How do you know?
Because I love it.
Wow.
Since I was little.
And do you have any experience with that? Is anyone in your family a doctor?
Yeah. My not so close, but my grandma's cousins, like 10 of them,
Wow.
and my 2 cousins.
And they're doctors?
Yes.
Ah, okay. Very good. Very good. Well, I think that's a pretty good job.
Yeah, me too.
If you're okay with knives and blood.
I am.
Okay. I had to dissect a pig, a frog, and a shark when I was in high
I
school.
love to do that. I
But
love it.
But the thing is, when I had to do the dissections, they were already dead, so I couldn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
The problem is when they're
Well,
alive.
when my teachers say that, when my teacher said that we're gonna do that, my friends are like, "Oh my God, gross!" And I'm like, "Woo!"
There you go.
Since I was little.
Well, in this case, you're going to have a probably very different interview. Well, you know what? I would actually say maybe not. I was going to say your skills are going to be the most important thing. But you know what? Even being a doctor, you might join different types of organizations where you have to do an interview, and some of those might be in English. So even in your case, it could be relevant. We can take a look and see. Let's focus on not only the advice that we're going to receive in a moment, but on the language used to give that advice. And you are then going to follow that advice as a little homework, and in the next class we're going to try to actually sell ourselves using some of what they talk about. Okay? And for all you people watching out there, there's plenty of room in the classroom today, so come on in. Okay, so Isabel, could you read this first slide for us? And we're going to discuss this question. Okay, could you read it for us? Isabella, are you there? Uh-oh, I lost Isabella. Lena, could you read this first slide for us?
Hello.
Oh, she's back. So, could you read this first slide for us? And we're going to discuss this question.
Can you zoom your screen?
I can't, but I really can't. It won't get bigger. But you can click on the link in the chat window, and you can open it in another tab if it's hard to see.
Where did you post it?
In the Verbling chat. Okay, if you don't see the Verbling chat, then I'll post it here in the group chat as well. Can you see it now? Okay, and in the meantime, while she's opening that, Lena, do you think you could read that for us? And then let's discuss this question. Go ahead, Lena.
Yes. Selling yourself. Job seeking advice. Someone you know has been looking for a new job so far without success. All they have been doing is looking for job vacancies in their local newspaper. What advice would you give them to help improve their search?
So I want to discuss that as a class. Lena, you've talked really in depth about what to do when you're looking for a job. What would you advise this person to do? Or maybe decide what are the top 2 or 3 things this person could do since they're not so successful.
I would advise, firstly, I would advise to take a coach who can help.
Interesting.
Secondly, I would advise to make use of social media, for example, LinkedIn and other sites where he can find some job offers. Then probably employment traits. It's very important. And then he should ask some of his friends. Probably someone knows someone who's looking for someone in the position.
Very good, very good. Let me make a quick correction, Lena. Take a look at the chat window. Just a quick correction. Do you see what I wrote?
Yes. I would advise to get a coach.
And it should be what?
Advise getting a coach.
Exactly. After a word like, oh, you know what? I actually made a mistake. I wrote advice instead of advise. Hold on, let me fix that. Advise is with an S. The verb is with an S. And I don't think I can erase the other one. Anyway, the second version is the right version. After verbs that are not actions, we tend to use the gerund. So I would advise getting a coach. Okay, fantastic. I'm actually, that might be something we can talk about in a moment, what a coach will do for you. It's an interesting advice, too. A lot of people wouldn't think of that. Bruno, what would you add to what Lena is saying? She's talking about getting a coach, and she's talking about talking to friends. By the way, what did I said Bruno, didn't I? I'm sorry, Fabio. Would you add anything to that?
Maybe analyzing what could be changed to help the person. I mean, if the person is applying without success, maybe you should start to think for a moment and try to take some measures. Try to think about different things you could do for the next time. You could do it for the next time, in order to change it.
So to be reflective, to reflect on your own procedures, what you went through.
Exactly. How you present yourself, how you talk about your experience, and
very good.
Yeah, and maybe if you're doing something wrong before or after, if you're preparing yourself 5 minutes before, if you're freezing in front of them, maybe something like that. I mean, and it's all about coaching, like Lena said, right?
Yeah. So we can call this to reflect on how you approached the process of getting a job. Reflect on.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. By the way, a vocabulary word I put in the window was word of mouth. When Lena talked about talking to friends, we could say, see what kind of word of mouth advice you can get, or word of mouth opportunities. That means speaking face to face with people. Word of mouth is a real thing. It's a strategy like any other strategy. Okay? Isabella, what advice have you heard today that you think you can put into practice when it's time to get a job?
Teacher, I wasn't paying attention because
that's a problem.
Because I was trying to find I was trying to find the document, but I couldn't.
You can find the document, but I put the link in both chat windows. You don't see it? I put the link in both the Verbling and the group chat. Okay? And there's no other way I can give it to you. The link in the Verbling page is a mistake. I put the link from last week by mistake, so I corrected it right now. Okay, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're going to do well. If you're having trouble seeing the screen, then that could be a problem, because we are going to do some reading in just a minute.
because the first one that you opened. When I click on the document, this one opened.
Hold on a second.
The guy with the paper.
The two links that I put in the chat window, not in the Verbling page, I made a mistake. The chat window, they're correct. Can you see the chat windows, Isabella? Either the Verbling or the group chat?
I don't know what website this chat window is.
There's no website. Isabel, look, are you using an iPad or a laptop?
My cell phone.
Oh, well, forget it. You can't do it on the cell phone, Isabel. You can't get access to the links in the cell phone. It's too small. So yeah, unfortunately, you can't see it. I'll tell you what. If you give me just a second, let me see if I can quickly add a link to the home page. Give me just a second. I'll see if I can do it.
If you post it here in this
hang on. I might be able to do it.
Okay.
If I post it on what chat? I've already posted it on both chats.
So this one of Hangouts.
Do me a favor. Write something in the chat that you're looking at so I can see where you are. Okay? Just write something, anything. Write hi.
But
And
teacher,
when
I
I
don't
see
know what chat you're talking about.
Isabel, write in either chat. Wherever you are, just write some text so I can see where you are. Okay?
Okay.
Okay? And then hit return. When I see the text, I'll put the link next to your text. Okay?
I sent already.
You sent it? You must be
Yeah.
using some other chat. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. I'll open my email. Maybe I'll see it there. Okay? And if I can,
Okay.
then I'll send you the link that way. Okay? So give me a second. All right. So, but let's move on here. Now, I want you to focus on some vocabulary. And what I want you to do is first say these words. These are kind of advanced. Okay? But you're going to get them in the reading that we're going to do. I just want to make sure that you're familiar with the pronunciation first. And if you can think of an example quickly, no problem. Tell us an example or a synonym, whatever comes to mind. Oh, there you are. I see your message now, Isabel. I see it. If you give
You
me a
see it?
second. Yeah. I see it.
Yay.
If you give me a second, I'll try to give you the link there. I don't know if I can open it. That's in Gmail, so I don't know if I can open it. Maybe I can. I don't know if I can do it. No, it's blocked.
You could send me by email.
I can't open it. It looks like it's not able to open, unfortunately, because I'm using Verbling, so it's blocked. But
I'm trying. I will try to leave and come back. Sometimes it works.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay,
Try
everyone.
that.
So the first word on the left, Fabio. The very first word. Let me hear you say it.
Boastful.
Boastful. Can you think of an example or a synonym quickly?
A person who show off.
A person who shows off. Excellent. That's exactly right. And Lena, the second word below it, the blue one.
Modest. It's something like shy.
Something like shy. Okay, you got the right idea. Okay, Fabio, the next blue word in the second column.
Brand.
Brand. Okay.
Yeah,
Which means?
brand is the company, the logo. You know the. Yeah, but in this case, I don't know if there's some other meanings.
No, that's it. That's it. A company, not just the logo, but the logo's part of the brand.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. And Lena, you can come back in now. Oh, there she is. Okay, not Lena. I'm sorry, Isabella. I'm looking at Lena and I'm saying. Okay, Isabella, I sent you the link in the chat window. Did you get it?
Let me see.
I just sent you the link and then I wrote a little hi. And now I'm sending you a smiley face. Do you see these things I'm sending you? So you should see it now.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good, very good. Okay, Isabella, so open that, and then when you get it open, then I want you to do some reading. Lena, can
Okay.
you say the fourth word, the black word, in the second column, please?
Yes, persuasion. It's a noun. It means something like a power to convince someone.
Very good. Okay, excellent. Isabella, can you see the vocabulary in the little bubble on slide 3? See where we are on page 3?
Yes.
Excellent. I want you to say the fifth word. That's the first word, the black word in the third column. Say that for me.
Candidate.
Candidate. Like this. Candidate.
Candidate.
Okay, you don't need to say date. It's dit. Candidate.
Candidate.
That's it. That's it. We don't say date because date is not the stressed syllable. So we don't actually say the A. What is a candidate? In the context of jobs, what's a candidate? What do you think?
It's someone who wants the job.
Someone who wants the job. Okay. Well, I'd like the job of being on the space station, but I'm not a candidate for it. It's a job that I would like. Uh-oh, we lost Isabella. Uh-oh, some connection problems. Uh-oh. Let me just add to that it's someone who applies for the job, someone who formally goes through the process of applying as the candidate, but has not been chosen. Okay? Fabio, the next blue word?
It's convince, right?
Okay, we'll go with that. That's fine. Okay.
Oh, you're
Teacher.
thinking of potential.
Potential. Okay. So in the context of jobs, job seeking, if I say,
Yeah,
go ahead.
when you have skills to apply for the job.
Mhm.
You-
That means you have potential. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the candidate has potential for the job.
Very good, very good. That's a good. That's one way to look at it, and that's a good use of the word potential. I think you have potential, young man. Okay. There's another kind of potential. What if I'm a potential candidate? What if Hillary Clinton is a potential front runner for the Democratic nomination?
Mhm.
Does that mean that she's in first place yet?
No.
No, but
Not yet.
not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet. Okay? But she could be. Okay, very good. Convince and persuade are basically the same thing. Lena, the last black word on the screen. Last one.
Tailored, it's for example to make for a specific person. As an example, I can say John Eric's tailors lesson for students' needs.
I try to. Very good, very good. So far, you all seem to have a pretty good idea how to use these words, okay? These are pretty tricky. They're quite advanced, actually. I'm going to say these words, and I want you just to repeat them. You'll notice that when you match them up to a definition, it also tells you what paragraph you're going to find them in. These words might be more difficult, okay? So repeat after me. Alienate. Repeat after me.
Alienate.
Good,
Alienate.
good,
Alienate.
good. Insecure.
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 Everyone's saying it at a different time. The next word is easy. Bored.
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 Inundated. Inundated. Listen to that carefully. Inundated. Repeat after me. Inundated.
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 Good.
Inundated.
Okay. The next one is easy. You don't even have to repeat it. Desirable. You all know what that is. The one after that is tricky. Lurking. Repeat. Lurking.
Lurking.
Good.
Lurking.
Good.
Lurking.
Very good. Okay. The next word is eludes. Eludes.
Eludes.
Good. No one else?
Can you
Elude.
repeat that?
Sure. Eludes. Eludes.
Elude.
Good.
Eludes.
Okay, very good. And volunteer, you all know, so we're not going to spend time with that. You know that word. Which of those vocabulary words do you not understand yet? Which of those are new for you?
Inundated.
Inundated. Good. So, I'm going to give you a sentence, and you tell me what it means, or you tell me how to substitute that word for a simpler word. Here's the sentence. He was inundated. He was inundated with all the work. And when he first started. But now he's quite used to it. Okay, so take a look at that and tell me what it means, or tell me a synonym.
Probably he was overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed, very good. Inundated is the same as overwhelmed. And you can recognize the word inundate if you speak a Latin language like Portuguese, because the word it's the same, basically. Wave, onda. So I guess you have the same word. Like, how would you say that in Portuguese? Inundated comes from the Latin word for wave, onda, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't speak Portuguese.
I know, but you're going to learn a little English, a little Portuguese, a little Chinese maybe, who knows? So inundated means to be drowning in water, like a wave hits you. So you can remember it visually too. And it comes from the Latin root of the word wave, okay? So that's like saying that you're up to your neck in water, you know, you're treading water. So you're overwhelmed. That's exactly the right idea. Are there any other words that you are not familiar with, class?
Lurking.
Lurking. Okay, good. So lurking, I'm going to give you another example too. Let me see. Give me one. I have to think about this one. What's a good example that I can give you for lurking? Because this one is sort of more metaphorical. We're going to have to see this in the text, but I'll give you something. How about something like this? I'm going to put it here. I'm going to use it in a very literal way, and then the text that you're going to read, you'll see it used in a slightly metaphorical way. Okay?
Okay.
The man was lurking. The man was lurking outside our building. So called the police. Man was lurking outside the building for hours. So we called the police because we were afraid. There. So there is an example of lurking. So Isabel, what was the man doing? What do you think he was doing?
He's lurking out.
See if you can.
outside
I know, but see if you can substitute that for another word.
I don't know.
Fabio, what would you say? Because if you can substitute it, I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, and you'll make a connection. It'll be easier to remember. Fabio, what would you...
Did you write the sentence somewhere?
In the chat window, yeah. The Verbling chat window.
I'm sorry, I just closed it by accident, but maybe he was in front of the building, like scaring people. I don't know. Is that correct?
Maybe. What was he actually doing? Lena says sneaking, hiding. Something like that, yeah. Lurking is sort of like sneaking around. That means, right? Yeah. Basically what you're saying. Yeah, basically. Not exactly hiding, but sort of sneaking around or being somewhere with no purpose, being somewhere with no purpose, maybe acting suspiciously. Maybe you could say it like that. Not because you're doing anything wrong, just because the fact that you're being there with no purpose is suspicious. Okay, lurking could also be sneaking around, like you're trying to hide. So it has both meanings. All right, now you're going to learn these vocabulary words and you're going to use them. You're also going to learn other vocabulary words related to selling yourself, and you're going to sell yourself too. You're going to practice for your next job interview. We're not going to do all of that today, but you're going to get the vocabulary today, and then I'll give you a little homework project, and then the next class we'll see the results. You're going to try to sell yourself in an interview. Okay, so let's do a little bit of reading. Okay, Fabio, why don't you start us off? There's quite a lot of vocabulary here. So if there's any questions, just ask at any time, okay?
Okay, can I read it?
Please go ahead, yeah.
Margaret Davis hears from experts on how to improve your job search using online sources, volunteering, and good old-fashioned cold calling. Finding a job means you have to be a salesperson, but instead of selling cars, shoes, or milk, you're selling yourself, your skills, your experience, and your character. And just as successful salespeople are able to convince customers to buy their products rather than the many other similar ones on the market, as a job seeker, you are in the business of persuasion. In many parts of the world, people are encouraged to talk positively about themselves and their talents from an early age, says personal branding expert Michael Brown. In stark contrast, in some countries, societal norms and pressures tell people to be modest or humble so that they don't appear to be boastful or arrogant. But I tell clients from such countries that it is okay to talk positively about yourself and what you can do.
Okay, fantastic. What you can do and offer. Actually, it continues on the next page. So finish that last part for us, Fabio.
Okay. And offer, because if you don't, how will potential employers or customers find this out? Brown believes that in today's highly competitive global market, people can no longer afford to be modest because they will lose the deal to who's know how to brand themselves effectively.
Mm-hmm.
Whether
No, that's it. That's it. Stop there for a minute. Let's make sure everything is clear. People can no longer afford to be modest because they will lose the deal to those who know. That sentence could be a little confusing. So notice how I change my intonation to separate the concepts in the sentence. I would read it like this. People can no longer afford to be modest because they will lose the deal to those who know how to brand themselves effectively. So what is she trying to say about people who are shy, Fabio? What's she trying to say, the author, Margaret Davis? What's her point?
Because they must be very aware of what they're doing and how they're doing. Otherwise, they can get a misconception about that person.
The company they're applying to would have a misconception, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think that's 50% of it, but I think Brown is making another point about today's world. Right? I think you're right. You have to be careful that you're not giving a confused image, like you're being modest and then they don't know why they should hire you. You're being too modest. And I think there's another point, which is in the beginning. What is it about today's world that makes modesty not a good characteristic in the job market? What is it about today's competitive global market? What's the thing that's changed? Any ideas about that? This is your opinion, of course, but I think she's trying to make a point What would you say about that, Lena? Is there something particular about today that's changed from 50 years ago, for example?
Yes, I think yes, brown means that it's not so easy to
Mhm.
find a job nowadays. There are a lot of people who are applying for jobs, and there
Right.
are also some skills which are very important, such as soft skills. And for
Hmm.
example, last week we discussed the extroverts and introverts theme,
Right, right.
and that just companies are looking nowadays for extrovert people who can make a presentation, who are good in public speaking, and so just, and if you are not good in the soft skills, then unfortunately such person doesn't have such great chances comparing to his competitors.
Okay. Yeah, this is the follow-up class to the introvert class that I did last week. Once you recognize you're an introvert, it's time to learn how to sell yourself. Um, Absolutely. And I wanted to just make a quick correction on something you said, Lena. What was it? Oh, yeah. You said that such a person. Um, but instead of saying such, say either two things, that sort of person or such a person. But be careful with that last phrase. We don't use such very often in that way. It sounds, it's not wrong, but it sounds sort of, I don't know, such a person. We would, that's kind of like an expression. I wouldn't go near such a person. It sounds kind of old-fashioned, maybe. Uh,
Excuse me, does it sound impolite?
no, it's not impolite. It's just, it doesn't sound such a person. Um, it's okay. It's perfectly okay. I just think there's, uh, you can't use it in everyday language the way you can say that sort of. That sort of is just everyday normal speech. Sorry. But such a person has a more particular context. It's not wrong though. So anyway, you cannot say such person without the article. That's the correction I wanted to make. Okay? So if you're ever in doubt, just say that sort of person or this type of person. Okay, I want us to look at two more paragraphs of this and then talk about it before I give you a little assignment to try. Okay? So, Lena, why don't you continue with the next paragraph? Whether you are.
Whether you are just out of school or university and looking for a first real job or in mid-career, job hunting can often be frustrating and time-consuming. In fact, many careers experts advise that you treat a job search like a job by spending 8 hours a day researching potential employers and then
Mhm.
producing a CV and covering letter that is specifically tailored to every job you apply for. Should I continue?
Yeah, one more. Sure.
The internet has radically changed job searches. In the past, job seekers checked newspapers and magazines for job advertisements. Although these are still a potential source, many positions are now announced via online employment sites such as Monster.com and Eurojobs.com. Job seekers can also visit company websites to learn more about potential employers, while employers or their human resource departments, uh,
Mhm.
could
One
you
second. One second.
scroll down, please?
1 second. Hold on. Give me just a second to turn the page. There we go.
Increasingly search the internet to find potential employees, a practice called passive candidate sourcing. Employers who can be inundated with resumes when they post jobs often seek passive candidates, qualified candidates who aren't necessarily looking for a job but who may be interested in the right job if the right job comes along. write you as career expert Alison Doyle on about.com.
Okay, and take a look at this word in the chat window, Lena, and notice where the stress is.
Advertisements.
You're right. I wrote it wrong. It's not advertisements though. It's advertisements, but I wrote it wrong. Let me add the right symbol there. There we go. I just corrected it. It's advertisements.
Advertisements.
Okay. Remember, I'm using US English. In British English, it would be advertisements. Okay? So what you said wasn't wrong. It was just British English. But I want to show you American English too, because if I correct you. Okay. Very good. Very good. First, before we have a little more time, I'd like Isabel, I'd like you to do a little bit of reading too. But before we do the next paragraph, what do you think about Alison Doyle's advice before we move on? So just your opinion, class. What do you think about her advice? Does it make sense? Is it clear or is it not clear? Hello? Anyone out there?
I think it's very important what she's saying about being prepared for each one of your job interview, and I mean, when you prepare and try to study what the company is, you know, and taking the opportunity of she said something like you must use the interviews as a job. I mean, 8 hours per day.
Not use the interviews, but treat the interviews as a job. Treat them like a job.
Like a job, exactly. Right. Yeah.
Okay, very good. And let me make a quick correction here, Fabio. You said use the interviews, right? Use the interviews. What was the first thing you said?
Like a job, I guess.
Like a job. Okay, yeah. I want to just correct that. Treat, and not the interviews, but just interviews. Treat interviews. And I would even say as a job, although like is okay, but I would say as a job. As a job. I.e. spend. Okay, that doesn't matter. So just notice how I changed the verb from use to treat. And I also got rid of the, because interviews is already general, right? Interviews, we make it plural when we're speaking in general. So you don't need to say the, because that would make it specific. So we treat interviews, you should treat interviews as a job. Okay, so just a grammar point there, or a little mistake. Okay, very good. I agree with you completely that she's making this point that seeking a job is a job. You need to treat it like a job, not just something that you have to go through quickly. You really have, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can relate to that. Underestimating how much preparation it takes and how exhausting it can be to custom tailor everything to that job. Rewrite your CV, rewrite your cover letter. It's really exhausting. So I agree. That's a good point. Another point is about the passive candidate sourcing. Ooh, what on earth does that mean? So let me ask you, class. She talks about companies that are inundated with resumes. First, what is a resume? Because in Portuguese, you don't say resume. You say something else. That's why I want to make sure that's clear. So what does she mean by resume in American English?
CV?
She means CV, exactly. Okay? And if they're inundated with CVs. They're inundated with resumes. Do they have a lot of resumes or do they have a few resumes?
A lot.
They have too many. They're inundated. Exactly. So let's make sure this part is clear. A passive candidate is a passive candidate someone who applies to your job?
No, actually, they just send the resume uh, only for sport, I would say. I don't know if
I wonder if they even I wonder if they even send resumes, to be honest with you. Maybe they, I'm not even sure if they're sending them.
Mhm.
I'm not sure where they're getting them. It's not, I mean, you might be right. It might be right. You just send out your resume and see what people say, and then, you know, okay. Or maybe they're collecting resumes in a different way. They're just collecting it. But Fabio, what's the main point then? What's the main point? Are these people looking for jobs?
No, they're actually not looking for jobs.
Absolutely. So why on earth would we want a passive candidate? Why would we want a passive candidate? What's our benefit in looking for a passive candidate? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess there's no benefit for that, because if the candidate is not actually looking for the position, you're losing time, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Trying to reach them, trying to talk to them, because they're actually not looking for that job.
Hmm. Could be, unless you make an offer.
Exactly.
So the point is that not anyone's going to be a passive candidate. Not anybody. Only someone who has probably a secure, someone who doesn't need the job, probably. So it's kind of like an insurance. Maybe companies would be really interested in you if they see, hey, he's already got a great job, he's doing well, let's hire Fabio, you know, because you're like a guarantee to them. I think this is really interesting advice. I just hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, let's talk about it a little bit, okay? We've got just a few minutes left. Isabel, I'd like you to do a little bit of reading. Could you take the next paragraph, and then I'll give you a little assignment at the end to work on for Wednesday, okay? Try the next paragraph which says, the fact that.
The fact that employers search the web for potential candidates, for
Good.
example, by checking LinkedIn, Xing, Facebook, and blogs, is a strong argument for having your own social media presence. LinkedIn is extremely
The
professional.
pronunciation is like this. I know it looks like Lincoln, but it's pronounced linked. LinkedIn. LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Good.
LinkedIn is extremely professional and easy to use, so it's worth building a solid profile for yourself there, says Vicky Creevy. Vicky Creevy.
Vicky Creevy. Vicky Creevy.
Vicky Creevy, marketing manager at Ideas Tap, a British charity that supports creative people. Connect with people that you have worked with previously or met in a professional context to build a network. Twitter is a really useful tool too. Creevy writes in The Guardian, try tweeting about current affairs relating to the sector you want to work in to help you to build a relevant following. Follow the companies you would like to work for and put yourself on their radar by interacting with them, responding to and retweeting their tweets.
Okay, very good. I want you just to repeat 2 words for me. I actually wrote them in the chat window. Oh, you can't see the chat window, can you? You're not able to see.
No, I can't.
Uh-oh. Give me a second here. I'll tell you what. Later, Isabel, you can go to the class and you'll see the chat window what I wrote. But anyway, just repeat after me. I wrote the IPA symbols for you, but I'm just going to say it and I want you to repeat it. Profile.
Profile.
Not profile. Profile.
Profile.
Right. If you say profile, you're saying it as an action. Like profile, there's like profile. No, you know what? Actually, no, it's not. Even as a verb, it's the same. No, it's always profile on the first syllable. Sometimes it changes, but here it doesn't. So it's profile. I want to read your profile. I want you to profile. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, good. The second word is radar.
Radar.
That's right. Okay. And so that sentence was put yourself on their radar by interacting with them. All right. So here's what I'd like you to do. 2 little assignments for you. Okay. First, come back on Wednesday where we're going to use the vocabulary that you're learning to do a bunch of different activities. But the main one is that you're going to take some advice that you've read and you're going to try it out yourself. You're going to try to sell yourself based on what you've been reading. So your homework is, first, read the rest of the text. If there's any questions, you can send me a message in the Verbling message window and I'll try to answer them. And the second is, I want you to think about how you would actually sell yourself, because what you're going to see later on in the article, towards the end, I'm going to just see if I can read that part for you. Give me a second here. Yeah, my job should be a priority. Fine, that's not what I want you to read. Give me a second here. Okay, cold calling. There's a little section that talks about cold calling, and it says in paragraph 10, don't worry about sounding stupid or making mistakes. Write a little script at home. Don't read it on the phone with the employer, but you can practice the script without. You can practice with the script and without until it sounds natural. So when you get to paragraph 10, I want you to think about the advice that the expert is giving you, and I want you to try to make your own cold calling script. Okay, and we're going to try it out on Wednesday. Okay, so that we're going to stop there. Are there any questions about what to do or about the vocabulary? Any questions? Are we cool? Yes?
Teacher, unfortunately, it's kind of hard for me to have classes with you because you only teach like 7 a.m. and I have school.
Uh-oh.
And today I skipped class.
Well,
but
all I can suggest is that you watch the recording because
okay.
I'm in a different time zone, okay? But don't skip class. But anyway, read the rest of the article and try it out. You can also write your cold call, send it in the message window, and I'll try to correct it and send it back. Okay, it's another thing you can do on Wednesday.
Yeah,
okay.
But I will have how do I say férias, Fábio?
How do you say what in Portuguese?
Férias. Férias.
Vacation.
Vacation. I will have vacation next week,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll be able to have class.
If I say tenho férias, it means I'm on vacation or I'm on holiday.
I'm on vacation. Okay.
That's it. Okay. So see you next week then.
See you.
Okay. Okay, that's it for now. And keep the link to this presentation so you can do the reading. And I hope to see everyone on Wednesday at same hour, 11 GMT, or whatever time it is where you are. That's it. Bye for now, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.